Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to another episode of Goodbye Bullshit, Hello Happiness. As you guys know, I'm doing these things a little differently. I invite other people, other my previous co-hosts or clients that have been interested to either hop on or comment. These are live, so anybody actually can comment, and if you have questions you want to ask or suggestions, whatever, go ahead. Let us know in the comment section. And today I have one of my previous hosts. She decided to hop on. Sarah, nice to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for doing this. I think these are great.
It's fun. Um, so today, again, like I said, I'm not doing these based on certain time of the day anymore or having it, not having it. It's just putting it out there whenever it feels good. And today's discussion is about numbers, those pesky digits and numbers that are controlling our lives and running our lives, and we're not even noticing it, um, how much we let them control and how much we use them to control our lives. So I just jot down some of the things that popped up for me when I decided to do this podcast show. Age, your weight, your height, time of the day, if you're in school of any sorts, your grades, your GPA, your test scores, your rankings, if you have any kind of illnesses, cholesterol, your blood pressure, your glucose levels, your metabolic rate. Um, if you are exercising or wanting to exercise or trying to lose weight, then you're doing your calorie intake, calories burned, number of carbs, number of proteins, number of fat, how fast you're running, the duration of your run, your workout time, your number of reps, all that good stuff that comes with exercise. Then there's, with work, there's paychecks, those nice numbers in the paychecks, your salary, um, other things, your size, your waist size, hip size, shoulder size. And, even like that, there's things that, hours that you're sleeping, how much sleep you're getting, when you're eating, if you're fasting of any kind, that intermittent fasting, that's a thing. So, calculating those hours, social media, number of likes, number of posts, number of followers, number of people that are going to watch this. So just these numbers, and we've been using them not just, again, to control ourselves, but we're, out of safety, we use them, out of being part of the world that we're living. Everything's operating under this, and it's become part of our identity. And in some ways, it's separating us, and also I think in a lot of ways, because we see all these numbers, we have a definition in our mind and our bodies for it as good or bad, or, where do I rank, or, I have to be better, I have to be more. So in ways, it makes us feel bad, or we feel like we're always pushing against something, trying to break through. And yeah, so I wanted to go through it and talk about it and say, okay, now how do we let it all go? So, Sarah, what are your thoughts
Well,
or
just
experiences?
yeah, I was gonna say, it's funny. I probably 90% of that, I go, oh yeah, I guess so. um, and it's funny you mentioned the the calories and the weight and all that stuff, the size of clothes, like that's something that like just even thinking the number, right? My size is 24 or whatever, right? It's like the number itself has an energy, and that number is, and that I guess it's just how much stigma you personally have or don't have, or like what you've been told about that number. But I definitely recognize that even if I say, well, I recognize this is where I am right now, and that 24 is just the size I am, so I can get pants that fit, right? That doesn't mean that there isn't some part of me that is having a negative conversation in my head about it. And I think the same thing about honestly most of what you talk about, like everything that you listed, which was a lot. And even the time of day with like eating and thinking about breakfast, lunch, dinner, right? Like what that means and how that relates to other numbers in our life, like, as you said, like your glucose level or your energy level, your metabolic rate. And it is very overwhelming.
It is, and the overwhelming, I think, comes because again, we're constantly feel we're being measured by the outside, we're being judged by the outside, and we're judging ourselves, and it's like we're pushing against this level, this seal of trying to do better, and I have to be more and better, and some of it again is out of fear too, that okay, if I don't do these things I won't be loved, if I don't do these things I won't be accepted, I have to meet these numbers to be
Yes.
part of this society. And I've had them. It was funny, there was a time that I was like, you would ask me what my size is. I knew all my sizes. Nowadays, like you ask me my size, like I have no idea. Like, okay, I wear all different sizes. I don't know. Like my sister, she asked like, I want to get you a shirt. What's your size? I said, I don't know. It depends on the shirt.
Yeah.
you know? So I'm not, once you let it go, you're not tied to it anymore, and it's not part of your identity. Even like um, exercise, those that know me from a long time ago, I used to be a personal trainer and I used to work out like crazy. And during that time, it was all about how many reps I could get in and number of sets and how long did I work out and my runs, how fast was my mile, how many miles I ran in a week. So it was like I'm constantly calculating all these things, but to be honest, it wasn't helping. None of that. Actually, it was putting so much stress on me and on my body that my body was fighting against it. And again, now that I've learned not to let those things control me, and I move more based on, well, it feels good to go for a workout, or what do I want to do I want to run, or okay, do I want to do it based on I got to do it based on a time or a thing, to have my app that I want calculating, like so I know when I'm gonna turn around, because if I run by myself, I might run and not remember to turn around. So I do need that control to say, hey, this might be a good time if you want to go turn around. Just don't go too far. And but I don't pay attention even then. Like when that thing comes at its halfway point, I'm letting my body decide. Even sometimes even before that, my body's like, no, we're not. I want to turn around and go back. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go back. So just start getting used to, like, just aware. Try every morning as you're getting up, even the time you're getting up. Is it really the time you want to get up? Your body's telling you to get up, or is it more of like, oh no, I gotta get up? Yes, I know there's work. You got to get ready for work. Everybody has work that they want to do or they have to do, whatever the case may be. But that's specific. We've tied everything to this time frame, and we have so many rules based on that time frame. Just to give you guys another example, for me, I had all these rules about time in a day that I had to do. Like if I was going to work out, there was no way that I could do it in the afternoon. I had to do it in the morning. or other things that were tied to my sleeping and getting up. All my activities, I had let time control them as to when they should and need to be done, rather than going with the flow of life and what my body wants and feels good to me. So
So I have a question then. What
yeah.
would be your, so for instance, things like, sleep. I
Hmm.
know that like I definitely personally carry a lot of energy around how much I sleep, mostly because it's a lot more than most people, which is like around 10 hours, like is typically kind of good for me. Although there's definitely days where that's not what I want. So
Hmm.
I guess my question is, how do you not only, how do you find that space to be able to go with the flow on things like sleep or even like when you're eating, but also recognizing that, well, I also know that getting more sleep than less sleep tends to feel better for me, right? Like that's just kind of, at least right now, how I'm regulating. So I guess how do you kind of balance the like need for allowing the time to take whatever time you need versus trying to actually have some kind of schedule to your morning or day? Does this question make sense?
Yes, it does. And it's a very good question. I'm going to bring it back again. The first step is that awareness, which you have already, that becoming just, you don't even need to change anything. First step is that awareness of how are these digits, numbers, controlling and impacting my life. Because first you got to notice them. And then once you notice them, then it becomes easier to let go of the judgment and let go of the rule.
The internal judgment and the
Internal
internal
judgment.
rules.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, very
I
good
hear that.
point. Very
Yeah.
good point. It is internally set. That's exactly right. Very good point. So once you let go of that internal judgment and rule that you have with these numbers, then it becomes easier to shift gradually. It's not going to be overnight, guys. It's not going to be like, oh, okay, now I saw it and tomorrow it's all shifted. No. Then the next part is, as you are letting it go, you're connecting back with your body more. And in order to connect back with your body, you got to start trusting this body. You got to trust yourself, trust the body, trust the universe. And as you're building that trust and letting go and becoming aware, all of this will come together and shifts. And you know everything's working together, meaning like, first of all, you know your body's telling you to sleep. You're like, okay, my body right now, something's happening to it. I'm releasing something, or maybe even, you caught a bug and have a cold and your body needs to release that to feel better. So you're listening to it, but also the universe is making it happen for you to be it easier for you if you need the time to take the time. It all comes together. Again, be easy and kind to yourself. This is not an overnight process. It all comes together. You got to start somewhere to get there. But
Right.
trust is a big factor in that. As you're becoming aware, as you're letting go, that you start connecting again back to your heart, connecting to your body, and trust yourself, trust the body, trust the universe, all comes together.
And I think that really, I think all of the healing work you do, I think you just pointed at basically the basis for every kind of healing that you have to do, which is you have to trust yourself, you have to
Mhm.
trust the universe. And I think that part of it is quite difficult for most people. Like, I think I'm just, especially if
Yeah.
some other thing, right? Like, as somebody who, has had addiction in the past, like, this is something, right, that I have to, not even just like me trusting my body, but my body trusting me right? Like, and I think a lot of people who have eating disorders or other kind of body related issues, that feels, I think when you just say it for the first time, like, oh, I'm going to trust my body, and oh, my body's going to trust me, I think that in the beginning feels extremely difficult. And that's where that kindness comes in that you just mentioned, right? Is that,
Absolutely.
yes, I have to recognize that this is going to be a long process and that it took a long time to get here. Because I think people forget the road to wherever your trauma is took a long time to get there. It wasn't
Yeah.
like that happened overnight. So the unwinding of it, of course, is going to take time too.
Perfect. Yes. Yes. One big key factor in there to trusting yourself and trusting your body: forgiveness.
Yes.
And that is part of that being kind to yourself, is that you forgiving yourself and asking your body to forgive you, and you forgiving your body for not recognizing things for whatever reason,
Yeah.
anything, your
Any reason.
fears, whatever has happened. Forgiveness is a big part of that, being able to trust. Because the reason you don't trust, it keeps pointing to that, like, well, you made a mistake over there.
Yeah.
You remember that one? That one was a big one. Yeah. You want me to trust you? What about that? So it's just like, you got to forgive. The forgiveness helps you let go, that you're not pointing back anymore to those things. And sort of you're making this agreement back again with yourself and your body and the universe, that, okay, we're going to start new. I'm not going to bring the baggage of the past here. I'm looking, it's there,
I
but
see it.
yeah, I'm going to let you have some time to prove me wrong, that I can trust you, that allowing that comes in, but forgiveness is a big part of it that
Perfect.
happens. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And the other thing I wanted to make a note to, there's all these gadgets and apps now that, they're supposed to be helping us to keep track of things and doing things. Yes, they're great. I use some of it, and don't get tied to it just because a gadget is telling you, hey, you didn't get enough sleep, or oh my god, your levels are up. And again, go back to what works for me, what's easy for me, what is my body wanting. And just a comment with the food, because I know that's a big topic for everybody. It has to be. I mean, like, I open my Instagram or whatever, it's just a
Yes.
ton of apps and gadgets and programs and things for weight loss and biohacking and how to lose this and the best way. And oh, by the way, if you're past certain age, they give you extra stuff because you're old now and you need
Yes.
more. So um, be easy. Those gadgets, don't let them, or apps or whatever, don't get tied to them as they know better than you. Yes, they're there to help you if you use them in a way that is supporting your healing, not bringing out more fear or anxiety, or you feeling bad about yourself and the need to push. So be mindful when you're using those apps and gadgets. Is it really helping, or is it adding more to your stress and um, anxiety and those fear patterns that you've created?
Hmm. Sorry, that was a good point. And I was just thinking
No
about
need
like
for sorry.
5 different ways in which just this last couple of days I was like, "Oh yeah, that's probably where that thought came from." That fear, right? Like
Yeah.
that we still, yeah, and that it's funny, it's very insidious that it's really easy to not recognize that a thought that you're having or desire you're having is coming from that. That's coming from a fear. But I do think that's always a good reminder.
But they're feeding into the fear with those
Yeah.
things. Just to give you an example, as soon as I'm what, 51, if in terms of half, 51 and a half, maybe a little bit over the half. But as soon as I was hitting 50, all these advertisements was about menopause and hot flashes and things that prevent like my hormones and all those things. Like, who is making this assumption that, I'm going to hit 50 and somehow I'm going to lose all my hair, I'm going to be wrinkly, fat, big belly. They all show belly,
Yes, the giant belly. Yes.
exactly, menopausal belly.
Yeah.
And it's for those that are not in their bodies, all of these things, I can see how it can be triggering and how it can bring that fear and anxiety in you. And funny enough, all of them will tell you that the biggest thing is that don't be stressed.
Yes.
Because stress causes cortisol, and cortisol is causing your body to, because it's like, oh my god, something's happening, let me hold on to the fat because I need protection.
Yes.
And so, okay, they're supposed to be helping you, but in a way they're causing, underneath it, if you dig deep, they're causing more stress.
Yes.
So take the stress out and just have fun, even with let those things help you in a way that works best for you. So, any other last comments, questions, Sarah?
Well, actually, just since it's something we talked about and it's kind of on topic at the moment,
Yeah.
talking about eating in general, I think it's interesting that I just realized that it was like so much bigger than just a me problem. Like all of the just all of the baggage around food. But since we're talking about numbers, specifically like having to eat 3 meals a day or having to have 5 small meals a day, or right, like when do you eat, when do you not eat, yada yada yada. And I feel like it really occurred to me, just as a culture, how much Americans eat more than they actually need to. And going to the Midwest, which has even bigger portions generally than here, and being at home with my dad in Missouri for a while, that really hit home about just the quantity of food that is placed in front of people, and then all of the back, and then feeling like I need to do that 3 times a day. Right, like if you don't have breakfast, it's like the worst thing in the world, right? That's something I'm working on shedding, because typically my body just isn't very hungry in the morning. And so reminding myself that it doesn't matter if everybody else says that's what you're supposed to do. If that's not what my body wants to do, then that's not what I should do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought it up, because, again, it goes back to those times of days that we're stuck on, that we have to have certain meals, and what meals we have during, like, like I had this crazy rule. I cannot have eggs or oatmeal for dinner. That's a breakfast meal. Like, even as crazy as that. But also, yeah, we're tied to those things, and we're tied to them. I know for me growing up, it was like, because you had to eat when the adults told you to eat, and you had to sit there and finish your food. And also, a food was the only time people would come together and be together. So pleasure of having everybody together, I think that was another reason.
Yes.
But also, it's a way of showing your love and respect for others too, that food that you're giving. So I think those go hand in hand. But then again, when you are listening to your body and eating what it wants, when it wants, your body tells you. There are times, just like you, I don't want breakfast in the morning. Like, I cannot eat anything probably until like noon. And there are times like 9 o'clock, my body's like, no, I need food right now. And I listen. So I'm not like, oh, okay, no, we're not eating until noon. It's like, no,
Right.
okay, food. And, one of the biggest things is when it wants sugar or it wants protein, it's letting me know by those cravings. And for me, I know how it grabs my attention. Protein, It's like, I want peanut butter or I want almonds. That's like, oh, okay, my body needs protein right now. That's
Mm.
why it's saying that. Or when it's like, I want a cookie, or I want an oatmeal raisin cookie, or I want honey right now. It's like, it just, my blood sugars dropped and it just needs either, food or carbs or, some type of a fast sugar, which I do give it honey. But again, you slowly start talking to your body and become friends with it and love it and listen to it and trust it. Trust your body. It is not your cholesterol, your sugar levels, your blood pressure is not because you didn't trust your body. It's because you are stressing the body, stressing yourself, and more fear-based than anything else. So that's it.
That's awesome. No, that's amazing. Yes.
I hope you guys found it useful. Just a couple of notes. Be on the lookout. The book is almost done. The editing, we're working on the cover that should be coming out August 11th should be the launch date for it. Keep on the lookout. And for these podcasts and shows, if you guys want things for us to cover, for me to cover, let me know. Text me. Leave a comment, and yeah, there's no rhyme or reason on when I'm gonna do it, how I'm gonna do it, just that, hey, it feels good, I'm gonna get on and do a show. So
Love
be
it.
on the lookout for those. Thank you, Sarah, for joining today.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for having me.
Love you. Thank
Love you
you
too.
all. Bye.